Did you know I'm gonna come with it? Come with the 10 minutes. I watch you stare into these pretty brown eyes. Hey guys, this is Tiffany J coming to you live. 10 minutes with yours truly. I hope you like the show. Check it out. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to speak cool, calm, and collective and real sexy like to you. The title of this episode is going to be called Adore. No matter where you are, no matter what you've done, everything up to this point has been innovative. There's no need in trying to reinvent the wheel, hence, there's nothing new under the sun. What you can do is get to know yourself so well that you can put your unique spin on things. Being the best version of self doesn't happen overnight. I find that sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect when it's through our imperfections and learning that we become better, reinvented, or upgraded. It all starts in the mind with how we speak to ourselves and how much compassion we show. I think of it as my duty to present my body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. As a woman, I'm coming more into my own and learning how to flow gracefully in this world. I told a good friend of mine to continue to speak positively over yourself. The good Lord gave us that power, so don't be counterproductive with negative talk, Have great stewardship over the vessel you've become. Enjoy and adore who He created you to be. She replies back with a GIF of a woman clapping hands saying preach, because that was a word right there. So often, this is quote unquote, so often we focus on all the things we need to change. More focus needs to be on appreciating Him for His perfect design, end quote. And that's by Jewel. And what we're talking about is us, right? Right. Learning how to communicate so that you can present yourself to the world the way you see it in your mind is one of the hardest things. You come across different walks of life, different dialects within the same language, lifestyle barriers, so many things that can separate us. Something I'm discovering about effective communication is that all parties involved have to want to work through it. Okay? Listen, restate to show clear understanding, then respond and repeat. It's a task, but when you practice this on the daily, it has a rocky start and eventually smooths out the more you try it. I'm figuring out my own unique way to communicate and express, knowing that it's mine and I can fine-tune it as needed, but reiterating that it's my unique way, and as long as I'm open to room for growth, who I am and how I am, there's nothing wrong with it. In addition to my artistry, I'm in the custom framing business. And so I tell my clients that with their project, we can do whatever we want because we're customizing it. There are rules of the trade to follow, which help guide you to create something that's aesthetically pleasing. Whereas without them and unknowing, not following them, the untrained individual will not be able to articulate why something is wrong. They'll just know that the final product isn't up to par or what they thought it would be. And so I take framing and I apply it to my life and who I am as an individual. I study myself, past, present, and create certain rules and things to follow, considering a pattern of outcomes I prefer over others. I remind myself that I have all the basic tools to create a masterpiece each day, regardless of my environment. It's up to me to use my mind to step outside the box to bring it to life. What I love about life as in video games, for example, is that time gives you the reward of experience points you wouldn't have otherwise. I'm going to repeat that. What I love about life, just like in video games, is that time gives you the reward of experience points you wouldn't have otherwise. Time is a dimension that some of us take for granted and may not use as wisely as we think. I'm personally on a quest to figure out how to use my, 24 hours as if they were 48, thus propelling myself at an exponential rate in less time. How this works for you or me will be different, but for sure, that's the reinvention of the wheel that we need to birth within ourselves. So that was my post about Adore. And when I think about time, which is the one thing that you can't buy your way into or get any more of, but if you're smart, there's this thing called time leverage that I feel that people at the top of the pyramid have basically mastered and they've gotten. And so within my job, for example, I'm not necessarily at the bottom of the pyramid, but I'm not in the middle, and I know I'm not at the top. And I'm trying to create a structure for myself where I can move from a bottom to the top as far as with time leverage and making my money work for me while I'm asleep. Right now, I have to spend as much time as possible to get the dollars back that equal that. And there's only 24 hours in the day. A majority of the time, I'm definitely going to be up for 12 of them, going to the grain and making that work for me. Now, soon, with everything that I'm putting in, the goal is to only have to go to work eventually just for 8 hours, then eventually just put in 6 and maybe 4 as far as with my like my 9 to 5 job. And then eventually, as my entrepreneurial stuff comes into play, I'll be able to add more hours to that. And then how I structure it, basically, like with my 12-hour day, what I can end up doing is adding more things into my 12-hour work day, which will be the equivalent of kind of like 24 hours. So like I was saying, I can propel myself into the future. You know what I mean? Like propel myself into the future because I've put the time in. And then when the future catches up with itself, I'll be where I need to be. So hopefully, eventually, I'll translate that with money. But I'm slowly getting there. Last year was about manifestation. This year was about my womanhood. And I believe that I have still since mastered all of those skills that I needed to master beforehand. And this new year coming up, I'm going to manifest it on a whole different level. I just have to maintain my consistency, my level of accountability with myself, and know that time is going to give me the reward of my experience that I wouldn't have otherwise. So I definitely like that. And I'm going to enjoy and adore who God created me to be. Sometimes I feel like we waste time, like not with the pity party, but we waste time on unnecessary things like putting ourselves down, being negative, and just being in a space that doesn't produce good fruit, if that makes sense. And that's what I want to be about. Whatever I decide to do, when I decide to do it, my goal is producing great fruit, and then it grows exponentially from there. That's what I want to do. And when I do it from love or with love, one of my friends just texted me about 30 minutes ago saying the things that you do with love, it's gonna work. That's usually where those are where my things come from. They come from a space of healthy thinking, healthy living, a healthy emotional space, and that's where they come from. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to continue to do more of these. As you see my voice, which is so interesting, I feel like there's like 5 different people on the inside. Sometimes it fluctuates depending on my mood and where I'm at. Like if I'm reading or talking about one of my dreams, I'm all like animated. And then in this particular one, I really wanted you to just take a moment, sit and listen. So bear with me, live with me, love with me, laugh with me as we go through. And I intend on giving you so much more content in the future. Thank you so much for rocking with me, you guys. Again, I'm Tiffany J. Check out my website, TJAYE Taylor, and follow me on all social media platforms.
That was another edition of 10 Minutes with Tiffany J. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves, because I know I did. You can find more episodes on my website, www.tjayetaylor.com, and go to podcasts. But don't stop there. Hop on over to the music tab and rock out to your favorite Tiffany J records, starting with my latest single, Work For It, available for streaming and downloads on all major platforms, with a bomb video showcase on YouTube featuring the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina.